My brother, literally look at my page. I have my rates stated. There are 450
Then these aren't your girlfriends, these are your clients. Oh my
100%.
god. This is so embarrassing
100%.
that you would try to claim them to be your girlfriends.
So you're saying my clients aren't my friends?
Not necessarily.
100% not necessarily. I didn't say every client of mine is a friend, but
And they're
those
certainly
three
not your
girls, for example,
girlfriends,
were
are they?
definitely shaking my ass.
Are they your girlfriends?
I
Because
dated
that
two
was
of the
your
girls in
claim.
that.
It sounds like I have two things that you'll never have. One, a valid argument, and two, a girlfriend. Hey, how's it going? Actually important.
How are you?
Doing well. How about you? How old are you?
I am 32.
And what religion?
Jewish.
Okay. What makes you think God exists?
I would say the computational complexity of the universe is hard to host inside of its own unit. If you look at the energy consumption that's required for computation, it can't just be a native characteristic of physics. There actually has to be some kind of rule that computes logic, essentially. When you demand information of a system and you're asking for example, the redshift of a star from somewhere very far away, there are a ridiculous number of Planck lengths between you and that star, which are each an independent layer of space. And each independent layer of space has its own permutations and super calculations and superpositions that live on top of each other and need to be nested and solved for your answer to come about.
So I think
But
there's a
the
bit
amount
of confusion here, right? Like, I don't think that. So probably like the core flaw is that you're supposing that all these calculations actually take place, but like this water bottle, this isn't like made of inches, right? In the same way, like the distance between here and the star, it's not like made of Planck lengths. Rather, these are like
misunderstanding the argument.
measurements that you can superimpose onto distance.
You're misunderstanding. I'm talking about physically computing the reality which exists as a result of the constructs of the things that are inside of it. So, for example, if you have a system with 100,000 molecules inside of your water bottle, which there are trillions instead,
Yeah.
quintillions, right?
Why would I
And
assume the
each are-
calculation actually takes place as opposed to calculations being abstractions of the dispositions that underlie it?
Because if you have dispositions, what are calculating those?
Why do they need to be calculated?
Why would the universe just render an object
Okay,
with no
that
instruction
seems
set?
like not an answer.
I'm answering you directly. The
Why would they
universe
need to get calculated is my question.
If there is a actual characteristic, then how is it not calculated?
Okay, so I ask you, why would I think that it is calculated? And then your response to that is, why would we think that it couldn't be calculated? That's just a
Well,
burden
there-
shift. You're presupposing, your entire argument presupposes that these sorts of calculations are taking place. Why would I think that these calculations take place?
Do you think that the universe computes the distance between stars? Of course it doesn't. But there is a distance between stars.
Okay, I agree,
And
yeah.
that distance is used in GM1M2R squared, for example, to calculate gravity between those stars, right?
Yes.
So if you're using GM1M2R squared, which is what we understand to be the calculation of gravity between two bodies in the celestial area, then you would have to have those input variables, those input factors, to create and render reality. No?
These are abstractions that we are taking off of like the behaviors of these things themselves. Rather, what determines behavior is just the geometry of space-time and the geometry of all of these fields. So for example, things travel in accordance with gravity, and that's necessitated just by the geometry of space-time, because all of the paths other than the path of least action cancel each other out, which leaves us with only one path left just within the geometry itself. There is no like calculation that takes place there. There is only one path for everything to travel along.
That's not true. There are literally, there was a theory that was actually just proven 2 weeks ago. It was published in a paper where they quantum entangled atoms, they collided them, and they were able to create 4 possible resultant vectors, which each independently showed the atoms traveling in that direction. It wasn't photons, it was actually fermionic matter. It was bosonic
I'm speaking
matter
of
and
large
fermionic.
scale. If you want to speak about small scale, we can get into that. But would you concede that large scale objects don't need to have like calculations done to determine their movements?
What are large scale objects made of?
Small scale objects?
And what do small scale objects do?
Small, or I don't know, you're going to need to be more specific with your question. And I'm
A
sorry, do
large
you want to
scale
answer my
object.
question first? Wait, do you agree that if we have large scale objects that the geometry of space-time by itself is able to account for the behavior of these things?
I would disagree that the geometry of space on its own covers and
Okay,
blankets.
what's your refutation of the principle of least action?
I would say that if you look at the geometry of space, can you prove that it's flat right now? I
Sorry,
mean,
what do you think my question was?
how do I prove that the resultant vectors of space are not simply based on the geometry between systems?
That wasn't my question. My question is, what's your refutation of the principle of least action? You're explicitly denying it.
Honestly, I don't know. Least action, if that's what you want me to specifically address, you'd have to define it for me.
Okay, that's sure. So the principle of least action, in my understanding, is that things are going to travel across like the path of least resistance across every field, and that's just because all of the other paths cancel each other out. They interfere with each other in the way that waves interfere with each other, which leaves only one path resulting.
How would you explain that a larger system is resultant of smaller systems within that framework?
Wait, sorry. Do you want to actually engage with the argument that I just made? So okay, wait, but you are explicitly rejecting the principle of least action?
Who is rejecting the principle of least action? I've by no means rejected what
Do
you
you
said.
accept it? Do you deny it?
Okay, so let's say I accept it, right? I accept that the least resistant path is the one that, vectors and whatever choose to go into. How does that have to deal with the amount of computation? Like, so what you're saying,
Presupposing
let me dial it back.
computation again.
The universe is made of energy, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure if that's true. Blitz,
You're
what do you
not sure
think?
if the universe is made of energy?
Are you saying like fundamentally?
Fundamentally, the universe is made of energy, no?
I'm not sure. Blitz, what would you say to that? Okay, maybe Blitz is busy.
No, sorry, I'm about to head out, but I can still stay on. Yeah, the universe, energy is not even a stuff to be made out of. What?
What? E equals mc squared. Energy is equal to the mass times the speed of light squared, and energy is not what things are made of.
It's not made out of mass either.
Stuff is mass.
No, stuff is matter.
And matter is what?
Matter is like it's
Mass.
stuff.
It's weight times gravity, which is mass.
No, matter is this. Matter is the noun. Mass is the. I don't know.
Right? So you're saying that things are not made of energy.
Matter is the noun. Mass is the adjective.
Mass is an adjective to you?
Yeah, it's a property. It's a description.
So if something is 400 pounds, 400 is a description and not a quantity?
Quantity is a kind of description. It's a quantitative description in particular.
If something is quantitative, then is it a description or is it a numerical number that actually quantifies?
You cut out there for a second, but I should actually probably hop down, Ian, because I'm driving and I don't want to get you in trouble.
That's
But
fine.
thanks
That's
for having
fine.
me.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Sure. Wait. So okay. I think like the fundamental question. Oh, I have another physics guy. Quantinaut. I don't know. You've been listening. Yeah. Tag in. Tag in. Yeah. So, okay. Why would we think that there's like calculations that are actually happening, as opposed to calculations being like abstractions of the object behaving in a specific way?
There would be no reason for there to be a sheet actually computing things. It's our abstraction of what is occurring. We're probably wrong about how numbers even work until our society develops further. I mean, 90% of our suppositions are probably based on things that, will be updated in the next 100 years, the same way that we thought phlogiston was oxygen 100 years ago. We were teaching incredibly incorrect things about 100 years ago. I have zero qualms with the statements and assumptions of physics and chemistry and science. I would never refute any of them. But what of those specifically refutes God's existence?
Wait, Sarah, did I ever make the claim that science refutes God's existence?
No, but you're saying that it's God or science.
I never made that claim. I don't think I've. Sorry, did I make that claim? That's like an absurd claim to me.
I'm saying right now, your stance is scientific, and then when people come on your show, their stance is God, and it seems to be science versus God, right? Why can't it just be both? Why can't God have created
I've never made the
science?
claim that it couldn't be both. My evidence against God's existence isn't like scientific evidence, it's philosophical evidence.
Philosophical evidence is the weakest evidence in the entire stack of science. It's a
What's
soft
the
science.
argument for that?
Soft science is weak.
Yeah, what's the
Trying to
argument for
predict the
that?
economy?
Sorry, wait, do you think logic is weak?
I think that logic isn't necessarily a soft science. It's a foundational science. You have predicates, you have
Yeah.
rules, you have logic.
Yep,
You know,
totally
logic
agree
is
with that.
actually a supposition of like physics and
Yeah,
chemistry.
sure. And what's the
Whereas
what's the empirical evidence for everything you just said?
that is the largest statement I've ever heard in my life. Can you break down what you mean by it?
What's the you just made a bunch of philosophical claims, but you're saying like philosophical evidence sucks. So what's the empirical evidence for all the philosophical claims you just made about like the
philosophical claim
hierarchy
did I
of evidence? Like what's the empirical evidence that, I don't know, like philosophical evidence is at the bottom of the hierarchy?
Okay, so we go literally in terms of science, physics, chemistry,
Mm.
and then from chemistry you go down even further to, let's say, anatomy or biology, how chemistry manifests itself. You go into kinetics, you go into whatever. As you go further down those, you're abstracting because there's a system that defines the bounds. For example, physics is the most basic one, and physics would say, you know, there is mass, there is height, there is velocity, there is whatever. Then you get into kinetics where these things interact with each other. As you interact, you are removing certain amounts of certainty.
Kinetics is a part of physics, right?
Yes. Do you know that chemistry is a part of physics? So I was
No,
listing
that's
all of the
chemistry.
subcomposites.
I mean, you can derive laws of chemistry from physics, but physics is
Google,
physics. and
Google if
chemistry is
chemistry is part of physics or not.
You're
and then
literally
get back to
talking
me.
to like a physics PhD student.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're telling me that chemistry is not part of physics and you took a PhD in physics?
You can derive, you can find the connection between the two, but they are not one and the same.
Chemistry is
They are different
literally
regimes.
the application of physics to atoms.
But you don't actually do physics and chemistry, though.
Are you serious?
Generalize.
Are you serious? So how do you
As I said,
calculate,
you can,
for
you can
example,
find the connection
how do
between
you how do you
chemistry and
calculate
physics.
how do you calculate the wavelength of light generated by an orbital jump?
That's physics.
Yes, exactly.
That's due to the energy difference between the two orbitals.
Yeah, and
that's
what
not
is that?
chemistry.
Okay, so in chemistry, right, you anticipate how much kinetic energy you add to something, you put it into the valence electrons, and then the electrons jump down an orbital and release that wavelength of
That's
light.
not chemistry.
That is literally
Chemistry is how atoms bond to each other, not how light is emitted.
Chemistry, are you kidding me? What about hydrogen peroxide mixed with some kind of dye? That's chemistry creating light because of the photons jumping down an orbital.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a connection.
What do you mean there's a
But
connection?
again,
It's
like
literally a direct
chemistry
derivation.
specifically is how atoms bind to each other.
Wow, if only there was like a
Chemistry-
field that was able to make distinctions, you know, like a field like philosophy that could explain that actually what's going on here is that chemistry supervenes onto physics.
Philosophy,
I mean, that's why the entire STEM department at my university is not just physics, right?
yeah, there
Like
obviously
when you calculate
the
different
entire
chemical reactions, you don't have to go back to the Schrodinger equation every time.
medicine isn't literally looking at the outside of a body, but it still contains physics, even though it's looking at the inside of a body, right?
What? Say it
Every
again?
Again, I don't think you're getting my
science-
point.
every
Of course,
science
these
begins
fields are
with
connected
physics.
to each other.
Yeah, so I think you're a bit
And look,
confused again.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
go
you
for
this
it.
as a physics major. I'm telling you this as a physics major, and we are known to be very egotistical about our own
Can you
field.
provide a source that says that chemistry is not a field that's derived from physics?
Wait, sorry. We make the claim that we're making is that these laws of chemistry ultimately will be derived from physics, but that the study of physics is separate from the study of chemistry.
Who is saying that chemistry and physics are the exact same thing? I'm saying
You
that
are.
if you don't know
Oh.
physics,
Yeah, that's what you
if you
said.
don't know physics, you cannot know chemistry, and if you know chemistry,
No, that's
you
not true.
cannot-
You can absolutely do chemistry and be horrible at physics.
If you do not have in a universe without physics, there would be no chemistry.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
agree with
that's
that.
True, but
yeah,
again,
you're
like,
just not
you
engaging
can
with the
do
argument.
chemistry and not be good at physics.
I'm not saying that you can't mix a vial of water and a vial of salt. I'm saying on a quantum level.
No, you can do like you can be
level.
good at the mathematics involved with chemistry and be horrible at the mathematics involving physics.
Yeah, because we've had 100 people.
In fact, most
laws
chemists
that
don't
are-
need to know like quantum mechanics, which actually governs how
Yeah,
atoms
who the
behave.
hell made
They
that
don't need to
argument
know that because they're not
physicists need
working
to
in
know
that
quantum
regime.
mechanics. Quantum mechanics is also a softer science than physics, for example.
What?
Physics
What?
is a harder science.
What?
That
That is wild.
If you're trying, all right. So
That is
what do we live in?
wild.
Do we live in an FRW based universe, or do we live in a Bekenstein based universe, or what universe do we live in?
I don't even know what you're trying to say.
So you're trying to make suppositions about quantum, but you don't know what FRW is?
What is
Not particularly. There's just quantum mechanics.
What's FRW?
Yeah, I
Friedman?
mean, I haven't heard that acronym before.
Friedman calculations, FRW?
These are general relativity stuff. Oh my, he's so confused. You're talking about the Friedman,
talking about
Lemaitre, Robertson, Walker FRW metric is an exact solution to Einstein's field equations in general relativity. He's so confused.
Yeah,
No,
that
it connects
explains-
geometry.
Oh
that's
boy.
It connects
Again, I work
geometry
in
to
quantum
energy.
field theory. That does not use those metrics.
Are you kidding me that quantum field theory doesn't use FRW?
Do you know the scale that quantum stuff takes place at versus the scale that like general relativity takes place at?
Yeah, it's 1 times 10 to the negative 53 centimeters, or basically an angstrom.
Okay, for quantum mechanics?
Usually, yeah, it's in the
Yeah, do you know
angstrom
what
limits.
scale the research related to general relativity takes place at?
Do you know? Absolutely. Do you know what a Bose-Einstein condensate
Wait,
is?
Sarah, do you
and
want
what
to
they
answer
listed
my
in the
question?
space
What
station?
scale does it take place at?
E equals mc squared. You're saying what scale does E
Okay,
equal mc
cool,
squared take
sure.
at?
No,
That's
what
not
what
even the
scale
full
does
equation,
general
by the way.
relativity
Most physicists
take
don't
place
even say
at?
equals mc squared.
Most physicists
Do you know what the
don't
full
say
equation
E
is?
equals mc squared.
No, we don't actually, because that's a vastly overgeneralized, simplified equation from the full equation. Do you want to know what the full equation is?
Go ahead.
E squared is equal to pc squared plus m squared c to the fourth.
And then you
That is the
derive
full energy momentum relation.
it. Take a derivative of that. What does it give you?
With respect to what?
It's literally equals mc squared when you derive it.
Oh god, he doesn't understand partial
No,
derivatives
that-
either.
I
Oh,
don't. You're
boy.
confidently incorrect, my brother.
To take the
Wait.
derivative of the equation with respect to time, position, momentum, energy, what?
Yeah,
said-
when there's multiple, okay, I'll explain this to you. When there's multiple variables, it doesn't make sense to take a derivative because, if you think back, it's like dx over dt. So you need to specifically
Have you
pick
never done
out
it?
what variable you would like to take the derivative with respect to.
Yeah, du
It
dx.
also doesn't really make
dx,
sense to take a
whatever.
derivative in this. It doesn't make sense to take a derivative in this equation because none of the variables are changing. It's just a relation
So p
between
squared, for
energy,
example, would be
momentum,
2p.
and mass. And specifically, the reason why that full equation is useful is because in some cases you will get particles that have no mass but do have energy, like a photon, for example. And so E equals mc squared does not apply to them.
So you asked me what scale does quantum occur at, and what scale does
Okay, yeah,
physics
let's just go off
research
that
occur at?
topic.
Oh, sure, yeah, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what?
Yeah, let's like pivot to, let's go ahead and backtrack now that this has turned out to be a dead end for you.
Okay, so p squared, c squared, whatever equation that's more convoluted, it's fine. Physicists use that. How does that relate?
It's not even that convoluted of an equation.
I don't study physics every single day, so I'm not like extremely versed in like p squared over c squared, whatever the equation is.
I grant that.
Okay, right? So what I am versed in is actually the generalization of facts, and I can argue generalizations pretty well. For example,
But if you get the basic facts wrong, then you're starting with incorrect premises.
yeah, but your basic facts.
This is
are
why
wrong
you think
because
like energy and mass, or energy is like what the universe is made out of. That doesn't
energy
actually
is
make any sense when you study
100%.
physics.
that energy is
It's not.
100% what the universe is.
Energy
made
is
of.
not even well
Disturbed-
defined on a cosmological scale.
Energy is what is used to disturb the Higgs boson
Do
field.
you know
generates
what
mass.
Noether's theorem is?
No.
Noether's theorem is actually how conservation of energy is even derived at all. So if you're going to talk about energy at all, you need to know about Noether's theorem.
Do you, or can you just say that energy is
Yes.
conserved and understand that it goes from one state
No,
to
you need
another
to know
state
about
of the
Noether's
system?
theorem because energy is actually not conserved under all conditions.
Energy is not conserved.
Not in all situations. Certain conditions need to be satisfied in order for energy conservation to be valid.
Provide a situation where energy conservation does not occur.
Yeah, in an expanding universe.
So in an expanding
Specifically,
universe,
the generalized case is that the system only obeys conservation of energy when it obeys time translation symmetry.
So the principle of uniformity of nature.
No, that's not that.
So you're saying
Time translation symmetry means that the laws of physics do not change over time. That
So the principle of
in the
uniformity-
condition where the laws of physics do not change over time is the only case in which conservation of energy is valid.
So the principle of
However, in an
uniformity of
expanding
nature-
universe, the laws of physics do very slowly change over time. Therefore, on cosmological timescales,
I
energy
know
is
this.
not
The
conserved.
universe is expanded, and so the vacuum energy generates an additional part of dark matter, which, you know, is essentially the storage of the vacuum energy.
So
inside
you
of
knew
our-
that energy was not conserved. Then why did you say it was?
Because dark energy is conservation of energy.
No, it's not. Very
It is
explicitly.
100% the conservation of energy.
Show me a source that says that.
Show me a source that says it isn't.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
he has
Noether's
he has no
theorem.
justification for his claim.
If the
Yeah,
universe
Noether's
is
theorem.
expanding,
It very
and the
explicitly
universe
says. In fact, that's why
expanding
Noether developed this theorem to begin with, because Einstein
universe
was having
expands,
trouble figuring out how
the
energy
expansion of the
conservation
vacuum
works
creates
in
virtual particles. Those
general
virtual
relativity, and so
particles
he went to
fill
Emmy
vacuum.
Noether to try to figure this out, and she solved it in the general case for any system of physics. A brilliant mathematician, heavily overlooked. Highly recommend people look into her more.
People don't understand how you're disproving that quantum physics is a softer science than physics.
We're going back to that then, huh? You know,
Oh,
one of the
boy.
most well-proven theorems
you've
that
never
humanity has
proven
ever made in the
anything,
past
though.
100 years.
Quantum physics
Do you
is
know how many
100%
orders of
an
magnitude
extremely
we
valid
validated
prediction.
the anomalous magnetic, or the magnetic moment of the electron to?
Do you know how large the disagreement is between quantum physics and geometry? 21 orders of magnitude.
Geometry isn't a theory of physics.
Not gravity. I meant gravity.
That's also
Quantum-
not
quantum
correct.
physics
You're
and gravity
talking about the
disagree.
vacuum energy of
Quantum
space,
physics and
that,
gravity
calculation
disagree
is
by
not even-
21
was not even
orders of
done
magnitude.
properly.
Quantum physics and gravity disagree by 21
That's
orders
like
of magnitude.
50 years old science.
Okay, what's the newer
People
science?
were
where they don't
attempting to
disagree?
relate the vacuum energy in quantum mechanics to the vacuum energy in general relativity, and there's actually no reason to think that the two are related. They were attempting to relate the two, but that was not a valid assumption to make.
Why would the rules of the very small and the rules of the very big completely exclude each other with absolutely no linkages?
Well, there very likely is a linkage, we just don't know what it is yet. That's like the whole point
But
of
then,
doing
but
science
then the
research.
basis of all of the mathematics that correlate quantum and general relativity disagree by 21 orders of magnitude.
That, again, that number isn't what you think it is.
Is it not?
You just explained it
it's
to
not.
that this is like these are like calculations for like two very specific portions of it that were done like 50
So-
years ago.
So you're saying that I'm backpedaling the subject, but you don't understand the subject if you
He's
think
like
I'm
fucking backpedaling on his backpedaling. The
quantum-
accusation of backpedaling even was like 15 minutes ago. Is there like a
Maybe I
stack in
have
your
more
brain
than
and
a
shit's getting like
memory.
popped
In
off
In
of
fact,
the
quantum
stack?
mechanics is
Is your memory TikTok
quantum
affected
mechanics
and you
is
can only
so
remember
well
That's like
proven that
super
we're actually
ironic,
having
bud.
a hard time finding a flaw in it. Like we want to find new physics, but it turns out our theory is so good at predicting the outcomes of experiments that over like the past 2 decades we've been having a hard time trying to come up with an experiment that will prove it wrong.
Because we require greater energies of collision in our super colliders, which we are not able to manifest yet. And so we observe nebulae, we observe black holes, we observe mergers. of
What do
neutron
nebula
stars.
have to do with particle colliders? And again, I actually work in particle colliders, by the way.
Okay, so you understand that the tera electron volts that we're
Wait,
generating
sorry.
right now are not sufficient.
What do
to create
nebulas
the
have to do with
collisions.
it?
Nebulae,
Yeah.
neutron star collisions, and black hole collisions, mergers, for example.
That has
in
nothing to do with particle
LIGO,
collisions in a
the
collider.
large interferometer for gravitational observation, literally
Yeah, I
does
know, I held the
use
Nobel Prize for
exact.
that.
You hold the Nobel Prize.
No, I held it because I was able to take a class with the Nobel Prize winner, and he brought it to the class one day. It was really
I walked
cool.
into the WWE and held the championship belt one time. Am I the best wrestler on earth?
I never claimed that I was. I'm just sharing a cool fact.
That's a wonderful fact. Like,
I don't know if
super
you're aware of
It
this, but like
is.
Nobel Prizes aren't things that you like hold; they're things that you like win, right? If what he was trying to say is that he won the Nobel Prize, then he would have just said that. It's not like it goes to somebody else at some point.
I'm sorry, did you not say he holds the Nobel Prize in physics,
You'd
for
say that he
example?
won the Nobel Prize,
So no one's a Nobel laureate holder. That's not a
reigning
phrase that's
Nobel
used.
champion.
That's
Right.
not
Has
good.
held the Nobel
That's a really
Prize
stupid argument that you're
across
making that
like
I'm
20
not.
consecutive Nobel
That's
Prize
like a dumb argument that
defenses.
you're making that I'm not
For what
making.
it's worth, I did pass his class.
That's good. I'm glad you passed it, but that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you haven't said anything that concretely proves that the very basis of this was that physics is the most concrete science, and then as you go down from physics
fuck?
toward more specific sciences,
Are
I
you-
don't even know how you measure concreteness.
Are your
Maybe
cells
you could
more
say it's the most
concrete?
general science.
Yes, there is a
It's certainly
general,
general,
science,
but
and
I
there are
wouldn't call it
specific
more concrete
sciences.
than any other science.
Wait, I have a question actually important. Would you say that your cells are like more concrete than you are?
No.
Why not?
What does that have to do with what I'm saying?
Because you supervene onto your cells.
I am my cells.
Exactly, right? So saying like, for example, like chemistry supervenes onto physics doesn't mean that physics is more concrete than chemistry. Both are concrete. You're like so confused.
Okay, but in chemistry, for example,
Again,
we don't
I think
even
the word you're
understand
looking
if
for is
there's-
more general. Physics is indeed more general than chemistry because
not
the
just
laws of physics
generalization,
apply
it's
in
a harder
situations of
versus a
both
softer
chemistry
science.
and
What
higher
are you
and
talking
lower
You
about?
have to
geometry.
presuppose physics.
What's
in
the
order to
criteria for hard versus soft science?
You have to presuppose the existence of one
Okay.
in order to do the other, and the other you don't need to presuppose the
You
existence.
do
of
know
chemistry.
that chemistry
The
as a
fuck?
field existed before like quantum mechanics, which governs chemistry.
100%. And so chemistry is a more concrete science than quantum.
But
Are you using this-
quantum
wait.
mechanics is physics.
I want to get clear.
Wait.
I want to get clear here. Are you using the words hard science and soft science in an idiosyncratic way?
I'm using the words hard science and soft science to describe what needs to presuppose the other. For example, physics is
You should
required
stop
to
saying
create
hard
chemistry.
science versus soft science. Specifically,
Also,
what
you do
determines
know-
specifically what determines hard
Yeah.
science versus soft science is the level of like methodological rigor and like the objectivity, like how exact it's trying to be.
So, for example, you need physics in order to determine biology, which determines economics.
Can you
based on
summarize back
behavioral
to me what my
characteristics.
definition was?
Yes. So, a soft science predicts less things accurately than a hard science, essentially.
Nope.
The mathematical rigor and the applicability of it is how hard or soft it is.
Okay, yeah, you kind of got it right. It's the methodological rigor and what exactly it's aiming at, whether it's aiming at like broad notions or very specific ones.
The fact that you sound more certain when you say things doesn't make you more correct.
I'm
by the way.
sorry if my tone of voice has
Wait,
made you feel insecure.
doesn't.
Maybe you could like cry about it after this.
Remember when someone else made a penis
I
joke?
need to
and you were
drill,
like,
drill
"Haha,
home a
that's funny."
point. I
Yeah,
need
it
to drill
was
home
funny.
a point about this chemistry thing because you say that like chemistry, in order to do chemistry, you need to presuppose physics, and yet quantum mechanics is less like hard than chemistry. You do realize that
100%.
the science, like the physics that chemistry is based off of, is quantum mechanics.
100%. But physics is the generalization, and quantum mechanics is a specialization.
But quantum mechanics is the thing that chemistry uses.
Quantum mechanics
You're being inconsistent with your own requirements here.
Quantum mechanics was derived using physics. Physics wasn't derived initially using. I will agree that nowadays
Quantum mechanics
physics is
just
derived
is a
using
branch
quantum
of
mechanics.
physics. It's not derived using physics.
Given the fact that it is a branch of a physics, which is the larger thing, the corpus is physics, and the
What do you
branch
think
is
like the
quantum.
more generic model of physics is?
There is no more generic. That's the most generic thing that exists in the universe.
It's a part of
is-
physics. What are you
Physics
talking
is the
about?
ultimate generalization of anything in the universe. It is the most true and concrete thing that exists.
Okay, quantum mechanics is a part of physics. I don't know if you're aware of that.
So if something's a part of something, is it more or less concrete?
I think it could go either way. I don't really know. Actually, wait, what the fuck? No, they're both equally concrete. I thought you were asking, like, are they more
Yeah.
fundamental? at which point, I don't know, that's a matter of philosophical debate whether parts depends on their wholes or wholes depend on their parts.
Also, quantum mechanics isn't like based off of a deeper physics. Like it is just physics. It is physics that applies to a certain
interactions.
condition.
It has actual superpositions which rely on 100,000 years of development of physics, where like rubbing a stick together to create fire is basic physics, and doesn't have all of these.
Wait, sir, actually, I
reliances.
kind of want to get this on track. Wait, so do you think that parts depend on their wholes or wholes depend on their parts?
I would say wholes depend on their parts more than parts depend on their wholes.
Okay,
but that's
so
not
then
a
you would say that
uniform answer to
physics
the
depends on
universe.
quantum mechanics for its existence. So
I
you would say quantum
that
mechanics
if
is
you
more
wanted to
fundamental than
understand
physics.
All of physics, if you understand all of
Fucking
physics, then you would-
brutal.
if you want to understand all of physics, then you would
Oops.
need.
Wait, sorry. So are you going to backtrack on the way that you just cooked yourself?
No.
No.
and
So
you
you
think
would
that-
affirm that quantum mechanics is more fundamental than physics.
No, I think that.
Sure.
quantum
So I'll
mechanics
go
is
ahead
a
and
derivative
syllogize
of
this for
physics.
you with some soft science, philosophy mumbo jumbo. I'm sure you're way above it. So we'll put forward the premise that you put forward. Wholes depend on their parts.
I do want to just briefly mention that technically
their
physics
existence.
is a branch of natural philosophy. So
True.
That is literally the dumbest
Quantum
thing I've ever heard.
mechanics is a part of physics. Therefore, physics depends on quantum mechanics for its existence.
Physics does not depend. You can predict
Sir,
physics without
which
knowing
premise do you
quantum
reject?
mechanics.
Premise one, and I know, you're like way smarter than all this like
Three.
philosophy,
C.
this like
C.
stupid like logic. Oh, C, guys, you don't need philosophy. He rejects C. You're an idiot. That's the
See,
conclusion,
physics
you
depend on
moron.
quantum mechanics. I reject
That's
that.
the conclusion, you
I know,
idiot.
I reject
you have to
your
reject
conclusion.
premise one or premise two. It's a valid argument, unfortunately.
it's a branch of epistemology.
You're using literally the softest science, philosophy.
Logic.
to
Logic
argue
is the
quantum.
softest science.
Logic is different than what you're using. You're using flawed logic, and then you're trying to.
Do you think
tout
this
it
is
as
like an
arguments.
invalid argument?
To govern like science. What are we
You're
doing
using
here?
flawed logic and then claiming it as real logic, and then being like,
You don't
"He's
think
an
that this
idiot
is a
because he
valid
refutes it."
argument?
No, because I don't agree that you have to presuppose that you understand the entirety of
Okay.
a part before you understand the
So you
whole.
just reject logic at that point.
I reject your logic because it's dumb.
Sure. So you reject all A's are B. C is an A. Therefore, C is a B. You would reject like an inference rule that's something like this.
That's actually a bridge law.
All A's are B.
That's a bridge law. That's called the special bridge law.
All A's are B.
That's a Sir Karl Popper
C
argument in the
is
philosophy
an
of
A.
science.
Therefore, C is a B. Do you
You're
reject
literally
this?
taking predicates and confusing them with bridge laws.
And now, am I confusing things or are you confused?
You're
So-
confusing predicates and bridge laws, and then you're saying that a bridge law is a
Giga
predicate.
confused. Wait, do you reject that this is a valid argument?
I don't. I reject that your usage.
So it's
of
a
it is
valid
not
argument.
valid.
Okay, sure.
Your
So
usage of
if
that
it's
argument could be wrong,
calm down
even
there,
if it's a
mouth
valid
breather.
argument.
No need to be getting upset. Just dial it down.
Oh,
So
make a penis
you
joke, it would be
agree.
funny.
Whoa, I didn't even make a penis joke. Maybe you're feeling a bit insecure.
My dick's bigger than yours, bro.
Okay. That's great, man. Wow, you couldn't even make a dick joke, so you just had to come out and like directly affirm it. That's like actually kind of pathetic.
We could go dick for dick.
Okay.
100%.
Sure. For charity. We'll go dick for charity. Yeah. So, okay,
do
you
it.
agree that it's a valid argument and you agree with all the premises. Now, do you understand that if it's a valid argument and you agree with all the premises, then the conclusion follows?
I agree that if you use that correctly, it is a completely valid statement.
Okay, sure. So, do you agree that this follows the same structure as what's above, like the highlighted portion?
I disagree on premise too.
Oh, sure. So, sweeping your blunder under the rug, you now need to attack a specific premise. So, you reject that quantum mechanics is a part of physics? You don't think physics is partly composed of quantum mechanics? You don't think that that's like a type of physics?
It's 100%, but you're using it as a bridge law where it's actually a predicate.
Oh, fuck. He's mad at the inference rule still, but he needed to reject a premise. So, what he said was gibberish. Why is quantum mechanics not a part of physics?
Quantum mechanics is 100% a part of physics. Do you need to know all of it to understand
So
physics?
you rejected two, but you agree with two.
Do you need to understand all of
Wait,
quantum
sorry.
mechanics
Can
to
you
know
acknowledge the
physics?
contradiction that you just affirmed? You just said you disagree with 2. But 2 is quantum mechanics is a part of physics, so you both accepted and rejected. And I know all of this like silly philosophy stuff. You're way above it. You don't need to think about
You're
logic
trying to
or
loop
whatever.
on like a little single philosophical, like you're creating a predicate. You're confusing it with a bridge law.
Yeah.
You're using it incorrectly, and then you're.
And
trying
every
to use
time
it
you
to
whine, I
disprove it.
create a new predicate.
And every time we kiss, I swear I could fly.
I really think that you're confidently incorrect, and you suffer from
Okay.
Dunning-Kruger.
That's
like you're.
super ironic. Holy shit!
It is. It's
What
extremely
a
ironic
what an
because you're trying
insane
to
like
apply
self
logic-
snipe.
You're trying to apply logic.
This dude really
as a
walked
way
into
of
the airport
disproving
and shouted
physics.
Allahu Akbar the way he blew himself up with that comment. Holy shit.
Dude, you're so edgy.
I'm like
and funny.
waiting for your plane to land and it's like fucking 9/11. Seriously.
You're edgy and you're funny and your hair is cool.
Thanks.
It doesn't look like my pubes.
Thanks.
It's awesome. You're doing
Yeah.
good. But
You have a lot of hate in your heart, it seems.
Allah Akbar in the thing, but I have hate.
Yeah.
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 You're right.
Well,
The
you just
Jew-
sound to
the
be
Jew
like
being
an upset person, right?
Allah Akbar is not upset at all. my
I'm not
friend.
upset. I have lots of friends who are Muslims. They would think that those jokes are funny too.
I'm sure all Muslim people
But you
would.
probably like walk on eggshells around your friends, don't you? Oh, I'm sorry. Fuck God, that presupposes friends. That's my mistake.
Yeah, that's a fucked up predicate. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, predicate. That certainly is like a word you could say, yeah.
Yeah. You've done everything you can to distract from the fact that
Okay.
my initial statement, which
You
we
just
haven't
concede
even,
that you were
we
wrong
haven't even
about this?
touched on.
You
We
just
haven't
want to
even
go ahead and
touched on
concede that you were wrong about this?
that quantum physics is required to understand physics.
That physics depends on quantum mechanics for its existence.
No one has ever made the argument that physics doesn't depend on quantum mechanics. The only
You
argument I ever
did.
made,
You rejected it. You
the
rejected
only
C,
argument I
remember?
ever made
And maybe I've
was
slammed
that-
you so hard that you're concussed, but if you rewinded the tape to 15 minutes ago, you humiliatingly said over and over again, I reject C, I reject C, I reject C.
Yeah, I reject your conclusion because your conclusion
Sure.
is invalid based on the predicates.
Well, sorry. So a couple of things to unpack there. So actually, you wouldn't reject the conclusion in that circumstance. You would accept the conclusion and you would say that the argument is invalid.
No,
but
but I
to be
disagree
clear,
with your
you do agree
conclusion.
with the conclusion that, so you agree with it or you disagree with it?
I do not believe that physics 100% in every way relies on
Does it
quantum.
say that?
I believe
Wait, I don't think it says that. I think you might be misreading.
physics depends
maybe
on quantum
maybe my
mechanics for its
rhetorical cum
existence.
shots have gotten into your eyes, which is why you're incapable of actually seeing. But you inserted a whole bunch of words that aren't there. Maybe you hallucinated a little bit. That's
brother,
the nice
you
thing
have
about the
windshield wipers
notepad
on
is
your
that the
glasses for the
notepad is
number of cum shots you
unchanging.
get every
The
day.
notepad is there, and you can't twist the words of the notepad. It's right there in front of you. So maybe you
Your
might
glasses
want to
have
take like
windshield
another
wipers for the
read
cum- the cum
of
shots you
this.
You'd be taking so many cum shots, your glasses have windshield
He's so
wipers.
fucking mad, dude. He's never been more mad in his entire life than he is right now. Holy
I've
shit.
been way more mad, for
Yeah,
example.
you sound pissed, dude.
That's very funny.
It is, yeah. That's why the audience is all laughing at you.
The ad hominem.
That wasn't an ad hominem, that was just an insult. An ad hominem is
cool.
an insult in place of an argument, but I'm giving you an argument, it's literally on screen. It's like if somebody said 2 + 2 is 5, and then you said, no, 2 + 2 is 4. Here's the demonstration of that, you moron. The you moron there isn't an ad hominem, it's an insult. There was an argument given, and then the insult is like sprinkled
The
on top
entire
of it.
basis of your argument is that quantum is a less concrete is a more concrete science than
Nope,
physics.
they're both equally concrete. You're an idiot.
Really good ad hominems there.
Oh,
Also,
I
they
just
need to
explained this to you. It's not an ad hominem, it's an insult. It's the refutation. I provided a refutation for your statement, and then I insulted you at the end. That's not an ad hominem. If I just called you an idiot, that would be an ad hominem. But I refuted your statement and then called you an idiot. It's not an
You
ad
refuted
hominem,
my
it's an
statement using the
insult.
same thing I've disagreed with for the last 15 minutes, but stating
Wait, which is what? I
correctly
thought
as-
you agreed with it. You're in like a superposition of both agreeing with it and disagreeing with it, it seems. But
I
we'll
have
beat you the
literally
fuck out of
said 1,000
superpositions. That's
times
okay.
that I've said this in 1,000 different ways. Quantum physics is less concrete of a science
What
than
does that
physics
mean?
because there are more things that are proposed and disagreed upon than there are in physics where physics is the generalization of quantum physics. If you talk about like f of g is gm1m2 r squared, or k is equal to 1/2 mv squared, or p
Way
is
to
equal
say
to
that
mg.
equation, by the way. I just have to say it. That was a weird way of saying that equation.
F of g is gm1m2 over r squared is a weird way of saying that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also just a weird equation to zero in on.
It's literally the gravitational celestial body equation. It's probably the largest.
It's Newton's law of universal gravitation. That's the name.
It's the predictor.
Why are you singling that one out of all of the equations in physics? That's just a weird one to pick.
1/2 mg squared. What negative? Like what do you want? Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Like what do you want?
I want you to actually make a point instead of just citing random equations.
Your entire argument has been you citing 3 things on a piece of paper and then refuting it instead of actually getting into the nitty gritty, because you use logic instead of physics.
So
Oh
your
my God.
arguments are
Again, as a
illogical. Do I have
physicist,
this correct?
We use logic. We use
If you
logic.
misuse logic and you suppose your logic is correct, then there's
Ooh,
no
wait,
way.
how did I misuse logic?
Because no one made the argument that quantum physics is not a foundation of physics. I made the argument that quantum physics is more or less concrete, and I said it's less concrete than
You
physics
rejected
because
that.
the generalizations of
You
physics.
keep on flip-flopping. You're like a sine wave, right? Like
No,
you
I'm
go into one
rejecting your
position to the
conclusion.
opposite position, then back to the position and to the opposite position. In fact, it kind of feels like we're beating the fuck out of you in a periodic orbit, right? You know, you get blown the fuck out
To
here, so
yourself.
you pivot there, get blown the fuck out there, pivot here, get blown the fuck out there, pivot here, and then you get blown the fuck out again, and you have to pivot back to the starting point, and then the cycle repeats.
Can we make a non-logical
Long time,
argument
too.
using physics?
You can make a non-logical argument; it would be invalid.
Can we make an argument that doesn't require logic on a sheet of paper and actually uses physics?
Not if you want one that's valid.
So you're saying that if I don't write if A then B and B then C, then I'm wrong?
It's not going to be a formally valid argument.
Are we in like some Taudian empirical classroom right now, or are we having like
This
a physics
isn't
debate?
empiricism. You're an idiot. This is
isn't empiricism.
rationalism, you stupid fuck.
So
Do you know the
don't
difference between
agree with
rationalism and empiricism? Maybe if you took philosophy a bit more seriously, you would stop making these embarrassing mistakes. Empiricism, specifically, is the epistemology that holds that all knowledge ultimately comes from your sense data, whereas rationalism, which is often thought to contrast with it, is the view that you can determine everything through a priori logic. So we're not doing empiricism. We would be doing rationalism. We're doing a priori deductions.
Do you remember how 5 seconds ago I was like, let's not have a discussion about logic, because obviously you love using
Because you
logic.
lose.
No. Logic used correctly is like a level playing field between people, but logic used incorrectly is a method of you winning every argument by using it incorrectly.
Well, it's cool that you think that you're losing. You know, that was a fun tidbit about your psychology.
I never said that.
Maybe I misheard
I said
you,
it's a
but
way
I
of
thought
making
I
you
thought you
feel
were
like
whining
winning.
about how, you know, logic is what I use to make myself seem like I'm winning and make
Yeah,
other
do you hear
people
the words
seem
make
like they're
yourself seem?
losing. That would
Make
seem to
yourself
follow
seem as a
from
key
that you
operator.
feel like it seems like you're losing.
Make yourself seem is a very key word that you seem to be glancing over, my friend.
Does it seem to you?
It really doesn't. It seems
Oh,
like I'm
okay,
talking to
sure. Wait,
someone
then who
who's
does it
trying
seem to? Because to me, logic isn't like the way to like win the debate. Logic is the way to clarify the debate.
No, logic is the way to convolute it when you start using bridge laws and predicates in order to freaking...
My bad, G. I'll be illogical next time.
No. Formal logic written on paper, used correctly, is a level playing field by which people can have fair and honest debate.
Yeah.
Having terrible logic like you do, and then putting it on paper confidently spewing it like you're correct, is a way to make idiots in
You
your
literally
chat feel like
accept the
they're right.
conclusion. You accept premise 1, premise 2, the inference rule, and the conclusion. Why are you whining about it? You literally agree with me.
I don't agree.
Oh, wait,
that
sorry.
quantum
And which part of
physics
this
is more
did you
concrete than
disagree
physics.
with? Back to the
You're making me
notepad.
go in a loop on 45
Yeah,
different
wait, sorry. You
times,
said that you
repeating the same
disagreed
way.
with the logic on screen. What part of it do you disagree with?
I disagree that a whole, depending on its parts, predicates that quantum physics is the
And
more
which
concrete
premise
science
is
than
that?
physics.
Which premise is that? That's not even the conclusion. Again, your eyes have been corroded by my rhetorical cum shots. You know, I must be dehydrated.
You probably are dehydrated.
Yeah. Like, clearly, based on the damage that it's doing to your eyes.
My eyes.
Yeah.
Are seeing
Yeah, I have
perfectly
like the
fine.
fucking battery acid, like rhetorical cum shots, and they're going straight into your eyes. That's why you can't read.
Dude, your hair looks like my pubes.
I know.
I have pubes that are more attractive than your face.
I know. I'm aware.
So your
yeah.
cum shots hitting my
Yeah.
face are like,
yeah.
are
But
like,
I have one thing that you'll never have, which is a valid argument.
I have something you'll never have, which is consent in a
Oh.
bedroom.
Well, except like the girlfriend that I've been with for, nearly a year and a half.
I don't know. We'll find out. But where I was going with
Oh
this.
God, he got a little bit weird about that. Me thinks he might not have one.
My brother, if you go on my Instagram and look up the girlfriends, whew,
Girlfriends plural?
whew, definitely better than yours.
Plural? Wait, sorry. Wait, did you say girlfriends plural? Because if you said girlfriends plural, that means that you definitely don't have a single fucking one.
I honestly, the confidence that you have in that statement is so concretely wrong. I'll privately DM you my Instagram so you could look at it
Please.
after this conversation.
Of course, yeah. Wouldn't want anything in real time.
I wouldn't want to expose my identity, no.
Okay, well, but you said you DM it to me.
Yes, I would expose it to you,
Okay, sure.
not to your chat.
Yeah, sure. I see. Yeah. What a meaningful distinction drawn there. I mean, if that's what you want to do, I mean, you could just like pull up like the picture of you with all your various girlfriends.
I could do that right now.
Yeah.
You want me to share my screen and show you?
Yeah,
Here,
please.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, do it. Do it right now.
I guess physics wasn't working out for him, so we had to pivot to this.
Yeah. Wow, you know he's a winner because of how insecure he is about literally every single point here.
Acidic cum shots.
Yeah. That was a fucking banger, dude. That was like
just
from like
pasted
the
it in chat.
depths.
I put it in chat.
You put it in chat?
Links don't show up in chat.
Oh, this one did.
Oh, wow.
How's that?
Let's see.
That's correct.
Bro, there's no
I
way
got
you look
no
like that.
bitches.
That's
I
so
got no
embarrassing. Why
bitches.
would you even link this?
0 bitches.
There is no shot you look this fucking ugly. And the fact that it's like a different girl every single time is how you know that all these people are actually sex workers.
I'm not dating any of them.
Yeah, they're all sex workers. Fucking clearly.
You have an anti-sex worker stance?
No, I'm not anti-sex worker. You can't call them your girlfriend if they're a sex worker, big dog.
They're my friends who are girls.
Oh,
and some
yeah?
of them I have. Yeah,
I find that hard to believe. You have quite a few of them.
they're my friends who are girls, and some. Of
I don't
them
know
are
if I
sex
can
workers.
show this. It's people are saying show it. I don't know if I can show it. I think the stream's gonna get like
Dude,
fucking
whoever
sniped.
said Buddy paid for the GF experience, I get paid to shoot ass.
Somebody share it in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in the Discord.
I get paid to shoot ass. That's literally what I get paid.
Oh,
to do
yeah.
on the side.
Sure, they're your friends.
My brother. Literally, look at my page. I have my rates stated. There are 400.
Then these aren't your girlfriends. These are your clients. Oh my
100%.
god, this is so
100%.
embarrassing that you would try to claim them to be your girlfriends.
So you're saying my clients aren't my friends?
Not necessarily.
100% not necessarily. I didn't say every client of mine is a friend, but
And they're
those
certainly
two
not your
girls, for example,
girlfriends,
were
are they?
Definitely shaking my ass.
Are they your girlfriends? Because
Because
that was your claim. It sounds like I have two things that you'll never have. One, a valid argument, and two, a girlfriend.
My brother, you having a mid-girlfriend for a year and a half is significantly less impressive.
I
than
bet
me
my
having
girlfriend
friends
beats
who
the
are
fuck out of you
females.
academically. I bet my girlfriend mogs the shit out of you.
Same.
I would love to see it.
Yo, what college did you go to? I bet she went to a college that's like an order of magnitude better.
What program did she study?
She studied neuroscience at Hopkins.
I studied quantum. No. What the fuck? I studied
Oh yeah, he
quantum.
needed to shift to. He remembered that there was a fucking quantum physicist in the channel and that he'd get the fuck beaten out of him.
I literally misspoke. for a
Yeah,
second.
I wouldn't have said
I'll
that
own up
either
to
if
that.
I were you.
Oh yeah,
studied
yeah,
computer science.
real. Fucking rewind the tape on that
Wind
one.
it back.
Brother, we've been talking about quantum for fucking an hour. It's not like I couldn't have a Freudian slip for 2 seconds.
yeah,
I've studied
sure.
computer science.
Oh yeah, where?
Yes. At University of South Florida and Rutgers.
Oh
And I got a
yeah,
master's
yeah.
in
My
it.
girlfriend does mug the shit out of you. That's brutal.
Johns Hopkins with neuroscience. Bro, do you know there are doctors who cheated their way through programs and suck even though they went to good universities?
That's true of literally every program.
Absolutely. So how do you prove to me that your girlfriend did a better job than I did?
Because
she
you need
went
to
to
be
a more expensive
cracked
college.
as fuck to get into that program. She's also from a foreign country. So in order to get into a school like Hopkins as a foreigner, like that shit is crazy
You know what
hard.
it takes? A lot of money. A
Nope.
lot of money. You got to have a lot of
Or
money to go to
being
Johns
like
Hopkins as a
the
foreigner.
number one ranked person in her class.
Wow, she was
Bro, I was absolutely right. My girlfriend does
people.
mug the shit out of you. And listen, you know, I know the computer science job market has been rough, which is why, like, as
brother,
a
look,
CS
you
degree
should
holder
really
myself, like, I
extrapolate.
deeply empathize with
I
you.
understand why you're on TikTok Live and I'm making $170,000 a year implementing global
I'm a
marketing
software
systems for a Big
engineer
Four
in my
consulting
9 to
firm.
5. I don't know if you're aware of that.
So you're saying the market's hard, but you have a job and I have a job and I'm probably making more money than you.
I thought you said that your job was like photography.
That's my side hustle. 100%.
Oh, I see. Sure. Well, this is my side hustle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see how you're making a whole bunch of suppositions and generalizations that are really
That's what
dumb?
you said you did for a living, big dog.
Yeah, I do computer science. That's literally
You
what I
said
do.
you shot ass for a
That's
living.
my side job. Yes, I
You
do that
said
for a
that's what
living.
you did for a living. Okay,
That
you're
is-
just confused about the claims that you've made.
So I can't have two jobs.
Wait, could you tell me what the difference between a stack and a queue is?
A stack and a queue. A queue is an asynchronous, and a stack is synchronous.
And which means what?
Synchronous means that it's processed as it occurs, and a stack is something that occurs as it is available serialized.
Okay, sure. So you might say it's like if you had to assign one as being like first in, first out.
FIFO would be a stack.
No. I think
Yes.
No,
Because
that's
when
a
you put
queue.
things in a stack,
no, because a queue, and the order that you put things into the queue is the order that they leave.
my brother, I
You
literally
fuck. Oh
configured
no,
global
you lied
marketing
about the
systems.
CS degree too.
Oh really? Let's
Another
look at my
fucking
CS
series of
degree
lies.
on a fucking
That's the
piece of
queue.
paper
No, brutal.
Dog,
That's
literally,
embarrassing.
Let's
No.
compare what we've created in our work. Let's compare what systems we've created.
Oh
for computer
no,
science
dude! First in,
our
first out
jobs.
is the queue. Last in, first out is the stack. It's like when you stack something on top, you take off the top of the stack. You can even invert it. Oh my, this is like really bad, dude.
My brother, if you're building queues and stacks and that's your full job in computer science, then you fucking suck. I
Hmm.
literally build global marketing systems.
I'm sure.
You're sure you should fucking investigate it.
Trying to
Gosh.
pretend that
You can
didn't
tell
quantum
the-
mechanics.
You can hear the certainty in his voice based on like the insecure quivers.
Oh, it's so insecure. It's so insecure. I'm very insecure, my brother. That's
Yeah.
why I work for a consulting firm and you're on TikTok Live debating God.
Yeah, well, that's probably a bad thing to do when you're trying to fight the accusations that you're insecure is to go for like a personal attack. And it's not that there's anything wrong with
personal
personal
attack, like
attacks. I don't
acidic
care about
cum
personal
shots?
attacks.
Acidic
But
cum
you know,
shots, you're
it definitely
ugly,
makes
my
you seem
girlfriend
like a
mocks
bit
you,
more
she has a better
insecure.
degree than you.
She definitely does. That's like
She
obviously
does.
true.
That's why she makes
Based
more
on
money
based
than
on what you just said, yeah, that's like giga true even. Also, yo, fucking
You sound very exasperated right now. That's literally
yeah,
an
I'm
Android
exasperated
effect
from
filter applied.
laughing at you. This shit's so funny. Oh my fucking god, dude. Can you imagine piping up to anybody looking like this?
That filter is literally a meme called Android filter that makes people look ugly.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the pictures, you know. We can just go through and find one that's not in that.
Brother, I could look at your face right now and fucking tell you
Yep.
concretely who.
And I mogged the fuck out of you, you know. And between
You mocked
between
the
the
fuck
two
out
of
the shit
us,
in my toilet, brother.
between the two of us, only one of us has a girl, so.
I have like significantly more female interest in my life than you do.
But
I
none of them
promise
want to
you.
commit
In a
with
room
you,
of
you know.
100
None of them want to
female
actually
interest.
start a life with you.
That's what. How do you predispose that?
Red pilled ass.
Oh, holy shit.
How do you assume that I
It's
am
fucking
not dating?
dire out here.
How do you assume that I'm not dating? Because I
Oh
don't want to date.
boy.
That's 207 weeks ago, and
Holy
I'm fucking
shit.
kayaking.
Oh man.
Bro, show me a picture of you kayaking 4 years ago.
No. I wasn't kayaking 4 years ago.
Yeah, because you were fucking sucking on cum out of cum shots that are so acidic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah. Actually what I was doing is I was winning third place nationally in a college debate.
That's very impressive, my friend. I'm sure that if you go to a job interview and tell them you won third place in a college debate, they would be really impressed.
No, not just in a college debate. The entire country overall, I won third.
So go and tell that to a job interview and see if they hire you.
I did.
Be like, oh my god, this guy has.
I did, and they did. Fun fact.
He won a college debate.
Bro, does anyone know fucking like Shovelhead Jesse? Does anyone know? Is anyone aware of Jesse? This guy looks just like fucking Jesse.
Yo, someone saying women and females are the same thing. There's a biological and gender difference in that, but whatever.
Whoa, based? What the fuck? Jesse Moggs this guy. Fucking brutal.
Of course your audience is going to say that. They tune into you and are in an echo chamber of your own retarded thoughts. They're going to say anything you want.
Yeah, I'm sure, you know. That's why they're able to track arguments, both the validity and the soundness of them.
You realize how you're arguing about cum shots and girlfriends instead of talking about...
Whoa, those weren't arguments, those were insults.
You are like a 5-year-old.
You look like a fucking dwarf. You look like Gimli.
I'm pretty short, but I get more bitches than you.
I was making that comment just about like your overall physiognomy. You have like the Gimli physiognomy.
I appreciate that. It seems like a lot of women really like that physiology.
Oh gosh, you forgot the word that I said. Physiology versus physiognomy. This guy does not spend time lip smacking.
Oh my god, he's bone smashing, guys. He's bone smashing.
I actually think that if you started bone smashing, you could get your number up a bit.
My brother, you see the girl there that's linked? She is better than your girlfriend.
It's interesting that it's a different girl every single time. That's
because different girls take me on trips around the world to take photos of them.
They can't handle being around you for more than 15 minutes.
To take photos of them. It's like the notable part of that.
And then do what? Like hang out, right? Leave. Should I leave? Should I go at the end of that, or do I like go on vacation?
It's up to you. That's between two consenting adults. You know, if that's the life that you want to live, I think that's totally fine. I have no problem with that. But you know, you're getting kind of old, right? I think you might be hitting the wall soon. You might want to. It kind of sounds like you're hitting the wall soon. You know, you might want to. If you want like a partner later into life,
like 70.
I think that you're hitting the wall a bit. You might want to try to get one.
I'm wealthy enough to freeze my sperm. I could literally have a kid when I'm 80.
Sure, you should do that because it doesn't seem like it's going well.
Everything you have is like a dumb argument that sounds like you are weak. And every time that you get into like a situation where your argument is weak, you go into personal insults.
That's so ironic, dude.
And then when
he's literally telling me his own playbook.
Then when I factually disprove the suppositions you make,
like the whole quantum mechanics thing.
Yeah.
Because I know you don't want to get back to that.
My brother, you need to pull in a quantum mechanicist to even like argue total.
A quantum mechanic.
What do you call yourself? Quantum physicist?
I'm a physicist.
Okay. What do you study?
With quantum mechanics.
Okay. Which is a branch of
quantum field theory.
It's a branch of physics, right?
Yes, it is.
So it's a part of it?
Yeah.
Would you say you need to know physics to know quantum mechanics?
Quantum mechanics is a part of physics.
Would you say that you need to understand?
You don't know physics. There's no general physics to know.
Would you need to understand
if you know quantum mechanics and nothing else, then you know a part of physics.
How can you know quantum mechanics without kinetic energy and potential energy?
That is part of quantum mechanics.
That is part of physics.
That just has its own definition in quantum mechanics. You're getting confused with Newtonian mechanics, which is not necessarily related. It exists in the large macroscopic limit of quantum mechanics, but it is not necessarily prerequisite knowledge to know quantum mechanics.
So you're saying that the entirety of quantum mechanics that exists today could exist with none of what we define as physics?
What? It's a part of physics.
Yeah.
So
you don't
kinetic and potential energy.
Like you could, in theory, have an alien race that just started by developing quantum mechanics and no other laws of physics.
So they could.
That is a feasible thing that could have happened.
They could do it without math, and they could do it without equations.
What?
What?
You're saying that they could do it without
Quantum
math?
Nobody
mechanics.
said that.
Yeah.
These
Again,
are like
you
the
seem to
most
be
insane
confusing
straw mans
Newtonian
ever.
mechanics.
These are like desperate straw mans, dude. This is like obvious. So
brother, you were
basically
just
what you're
pulling up my
saying is that
photos
you're
on
okay with
Instagram
children getting
talking about desperate
raped?
straw mans.
You think child rape is totally fine? Let me get this straight.
someone clip
Essentially,
that.
what you've
Somebody clip
defended and argued here today is that it's actually like morally praiseworthy to beat kids.
Somebody clip that and put it on his page. That sounded dumb as fuck.
I agree. All your straw
I
mans
wanted
have
to
been
hear
like
from you.
insanely stupid.
I want to hear from you what you think the major branches of physics are.
I think that the major branches of physics are everything we talked about, but I don't think that you can have quantum mechanics without
Very
understanding
descriptive.
kinetic and potential energy.
Very descriptive. The major branches of physics is everything that we talk about. What? That's not that. There's no information in that.
80% of your audience is going to agree with what you say and make you feel good because they support and pay for you, and they live in your echo chamber.
He read the comments and he got insecure.
I'm not even remotely insecure, brother. I'm going to go and fuck someone hotter than you do tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, don't
I bet.
address anything that I said.
yeah.
But I promise
Will you give her the wrong equation equating energy to matter?
E equals MC squared? You're telling me that's wrong?
Yeah, there's like a more expanded
It's
version.
incomplete.
There's a more
Yeah, it's
expanded
incomplete.
equation. So you're saying if I say
It's
equals MC squared,
incomplete,
it's
and it
wrong.
does not apply to like photons, for example.
When did I say it did?
Wait, sorry, which particles do you think it
said
applies
that the
to?
entire universe was like made of energy. That's just factually wrong.
100% true. The entire universe is made of energy.
Show me a single physicist that says that.
So what is the vacuum of the universe?
Wow.
Yeah, don't
What
answer
is,
that either.
what is the vacuum of the universe? Is the vacuum... How
The
do you
vacuum
call
of the universe can be described as having an energy, but it is not in and of itself energy.
What creates anything?
Depends on the situation.
Depends
Name
on
a
the,
thing
depends
that
on
is
the
not made of
thing.
energy. Name a thing that's not made of energy.
Made of energy? Oh, he's doing this one
Everything.
again.
Name it.
Again,
name
energy
anything
is
that
not a substance.
composed of energy.
Energy is not a substance, and in many
When did I
cases,
say
it's
that?
not even
What
well
is the-
defined,
what
as
is
I
the elemental number
described
of
with
energy?
Noether's theorem. But I guess you forgot about that too.
What is the elemental symbol for energy, my friend?
The elemental.
Elemental
Oh my god,
Yeah,
you're
it's
so
retarded, right?
confused.
That's a really stupid statement.
Do you
It's a
think
really
do you think
stupid
energy
statement, right?
is an element?
It's
unlike
an
the
element,
periodic
dude.
table?
No. I'm actually.
What's the
strawmanning the
elemental
argument right now.
symbol for energy? Do you
That's
have
how retarded you are. I literally.
Do
was
you have,
making that
like,
point against you,
fucking
and you're
brain
reflecting it as if
damage?
I'm saying it.
the
You're reflecting
elemental
as if
symbol?
I'm
You
making
think
that argument.
energy is an
Do you see how dumb
element?
you are?
You weren't even
literally
paying
think I'm making that
attention.
argument.
He
You're
listened to his
literally
own
making
blunder,
that
which is
argument.
why his speaking has increased rate so much, and why his
Brother,
voice jumped
you're
like
taking
3
an argument
octaves
that
just
I
now.
made
Holy shit! He
jokingly.
sees how big of a blunder is. He literally sees his own leg
taking
caught in
a
the bear
joking
trap, and he
argument that I
knows he
made by
needs to
repeating
saw
what
it
you
off
said.
now. You know,
You're taking an
it's all
argument that I
closing in
repeated.
now. You just said energy is an element. Please
no,
enlighten
you're
us.
retarded.
What's the
I
elemental
literally said-
symbol of energy? Please, I'm dying to
My
know.
retarded,
Please.
retarded,
Yeah, I
overconfident-
Oh,
think
he's
this too.
spamming
My
the R slur now because he needs to get
overconfident, retarded brother.
banned. All he can do now is get banned, such that he doesn't have to debate anymore after this critical fucking blunder. But no, I'm going to keep him up here. He's going to be forced to debate. Your bad plan didn't work. I know you're trying to blow your own fucking brains out right now by
100%
spamming the R
seriously said that
slur,
energy
but
is
it's
an
not going to
element.
work. I'm just going to keep you up
You're
here and
right.
keep on beating you the
You're right.
fuck down. Big
I
dog,
think a
your
humiliation
cortisol
fetish
level is
would,
quite
explain his
high.
Instagram.
Energy is an
I
element.
think you gotta work on keeping your
completely believe that
cortisol
energy is
down a
an
bit.
element.
If your cortisol was a bit lower, maybe you'd be a bit
My
hotter.
brother, you're trying to say that I said that energy is an element when I
You
asked you a
did.
question
You asked what's the
rhetorically.
elemental
You
symbol of
retard.
energy.
I
We all heard
rhetorically
you.
asked that question, you idiot.
What's the answer to the
Rhetorical.
question?
Rhetorically.
What's the
retard.
answer?
It isn't, because there is none. Because
Oh,
energy
of
is not an
course.
element.
Yeah. Gosh. Oh, I was just asking you a category error.
Have you ever heard of a rhetorical question?
You're an
fucking
idiot,
retard.
dude. A rhetorical question isn't when you're asking a category error.
What?
Can
I
you give me
said,
an
what's the
example? Can you give me an
elementary symbol of
example of a
energy
rhetorical
as a
question that's just a
rhetorical
category
question?
error? Can I get the example
literally
of that?
intentionally asked a question with no answer, and then you tried to make it that I think that.
That's oh my god, he thinks a rhetorical question is when you have to deny one of the presuppositions. Oh no. It's like he thinks
Oh
like a
my
rhetorical question, like an
God.
example of a rhetorical question would be like, when did you stop beating your wife?
Oh my God.
Yeah, okay, he got banned. Okay. Holy shit,
Oh,
dude.
that was good. I need to get back to work. I've spent way too much time on this.
Bro, I
But
fucking
thanks for
love that
having
guy.
me
What
on.
a
That was great.
what a barrel of laughs that guy was.
Oh man.
Yeah, I have a
Oh,
rhetorical
that was
question
good.
for you.
That was good.
What does green taste like?
Oh damn. I don't know.
I'm a master of the rhetorical arts.
Damn. All right. I'm gonna hop down now, but I'll see you.
Yeah, thanks for coming here.